What's going on, everyone? Big D here, and it's time to review one of the latest TV shows that have come out that has actually piqued my interest very much. I've been anticipating this show for a long time. I'm going to butcher his name, but this main guy who plays Christian Walker, which is the main character in this show, which is his name, Low Copley. He has come out in Chappie. He plays Chappie himself, and also he's been in the A-Team. He plays Murdoch, and also District 9, which I have not seen, but this is the latest PSN originals based on the comic book show, and you have to be a PlayStation Plus member to watch this show weekly, but you can also watch the first Season 1, Episode 1 pilot, which I'm reviewing right now, on YouTube, on basically any computer. It's free. It's free. The first episode's free, but if you want to see the rest, you have to be a PlayStation Plus member. Don't worry, I'm pretty sure it'll come out on DVD one day. But is the show worth watching, guys? I'm about to answer that right now. Welcome. Here is my first review of Powers, Season 1, Episode 1 pilot. It should take me less than 2 minutes to recap the episode, give you my pros and cons, and the final score. Thanks again for joining me. And I will be reviewing every episode for Powers, guys. So Episode 2 and Episode 3 is on the way. I love my reviews. Thank you so much again for joining me, and let's get right to it. First off, Christian used to be a superhero or a Powers named Diamond, and of course we see how he used to look back then. He's powerless now, so he gets this partner, or his partner Brian. He died right in the beginning of the episode. He just ends up dying by this Powers guy. He throws him against the wall, and his head literally splits open, and it's very brutal. So he ends up, paying his respect and returning all his stuff from Brian's desk to Brian's family. Olympia, which basically Diamond used to be in this group where it was Olympia, Trip Hammer, Retro Girl, and Olympia. And Olympia is killed by this drug, which is called Sway. So Johnny Royale is basically sort of kind of the big bad, not really the big bad, but one of the villains of Diamond and Christian Walker, aka Diamond, same people. Basically, Johnny kills this guy named Bugs. He can teleport. Johnny's a teleporter. So he literally grabbed Bugs' head and boom, teleported, and his head was gone, decapitated just like that. So he's very powerful, Johnny. And, he has this deadly voice. And he's really cool, kind of a cliched villain, but, you don't mess with Royale. That type of that look, and the mustache has a really cool look to it. And every time he's on screen, you kind of just memorized and mesmerized by his look, and you just look at his beard, mustache the whole time. You're just like, I wish I had that mustache. Cigarette in hand and everything, just teleporting away. That's really cool. So this girl who is a wannabe basically gets questioned by Christian Walker, and Christian says how he got his powers to her, saying that he was on the crane and he fell and he flew after that. And Johnny teleports wannabe out, and he basically starts using her for sway. And the Powers kids, they have their own block where they hang out, so that's where Christian and his new partner Deanna meets Zora. Now, basically, or not Deanna, Dina Pilgrim, and her father was like a famous FBI agent also. So basically they visit the Wolf, which is our big bad of Season 1, and Wolf is basically just insane. He's locked up. He literally eats people like a wolf, and we see him and he just says, "Oh, the flowers," and it's so weird, and you're already in love with this character right on when the first second on screen. So Wannabe finds Bug's head, who she used to work for, and basically Christian visits Zora. I'm almost done. Visits Zora. And I just love how, Zora was hiding Wannabe away from Christian, which Wannabe's real name is Calista, by the way. Calista. Weird name. So Christian gets mad because he found out that Calista was there, but she's gone now. And he's like, "Go back inside, little girl." That was an excellent scene. And Calista's going to jump off the top of a roof, a huge, 50, feet roof, whatever, 50-story roof, and building. So at the end of the episode, Christian walks up and he basically gets up on the roof also in the ledge, and he basically says, "This is not going to work. This is not how you become a Powers. If you think you have power in you, you just don't do this. There's other ways." And basically she jumps and he follows, and he can't fly no more, but he holds on and he does the, the regular, that type of thing, but he's holding her and he looks at her and he's basically like, I don't have my powers. It's not working, and they're dead. They're gonna fate. That's our fate right there. And Retro Girl comes in to save them, and she takes Kalista with her. That is the end of the episode. Overall, what did I think about the pilot? First off, one of my favorite scenes and quotes from this episode is right when I believe Christian visited the wolf the first time, and he goes and Dina, and he goes to his car and it's locked, and he's basically like, he has my fucking powers, and he just hits the window, and she's like, it's unlocked, you know. That was a really great scene. So overall, let me just get to my pros and cons. My pros, first off, is the opening, just the way we got to see how Christian used to be powers, and I'll get to my cons also, but the pros really is the opening. I think the opening was great, and how they introduced the characters. And it opened up with a partner dying, and it got really intense really quick. You know, I didn't expect it to be brutal. The wolf, our main villain of the season, he's just so interesting and so fun, and a character that I want to learn more about and more in depth, because Christian has flashbacks and he has this scar on the back where he thinks about the wolf and the wolf talks to him telepathically type of thing. That's really interesting. The characters, Retro Girl, she's interesting. Kalista, she's interesting. Zora, she's even interesting. Yeah, I mean, really. So, very cool. Charlotte Copley, and the girl who plays Dina Pilgrim. Now, Dina's an okay character. She is kind of annoying at times, but Christian Walker's a badass. The Wolf's a badass. Johnny Royale. All the characters are interesting in their own way. It's intense, but the best part of this episode is around the 30-minute mark. It's about a 53-minute episode, the pilot, but 30 to 40 minutes in, it gets really intense, and that's the best part about it. It's intense and brutal, by the way. No kids recommended to watch this, and it is very good writing for most. I'm going to talk you to my cons. And the ending. I do love the ending of this episode. It leaves me wanting more, definitely, for sure, and how they closed it, because they have to give the basics of the show in the pilot, and I think they did that very well. Now, my only cons, first off, this is a risque move to say. I'm maybe nitpicking here, but the effects. They need to work on the effects. Some of the effects are really plain wrong. Horrible effects, man. Some of the effects are good. Excuse me. Like episode 3 and episode 2, there's better effects. But in episode 1, it's kind of low. But, you think they put more budget into the first episode, but not really. It's confusing because they just dropped a bunch of names. Like, people who haven't read the comics, there's just like this superhero, that superhero, boom, 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 boom. So many superhero names that they're throwing at us, and it's confusing. It's a very confusing episode at most. And the first act, like the first 10, 15, 20 minutes, it's not boring, but it's slow. It's going to drag on for a little bit until it gets interesting around the 30-minute mark, the middle part. So overall, I'm going to give this pilot of Powers a A-. Secondarily, a solid B. It is a great pilot, to be honest with you. The acting overall, it's good. It's fun. The characters are fun. And overall, you could tell what their goals are just looking at the pilot and seeing where they want to take this show. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hope all of you enjoyed, and I will see you for more Powers. Subscribe, hit that like button. It's Spock with you always.